Can we please mute?
Good afternoon, everyone. Go on. Anybody hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Sunday.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for
Okay,
coming to
that's
the
good.
class today.
Please, everybody, mute yourself. Yes, I've already confirmed that. Mute yourself. If you are sharing your video, you are wrong. Please close your video. I know you can all hear me. Thank you. Mute yourself. Close your videos. So we don't have time. All right. So having said that, I'm welcoming you all to PSAF class tonight. The topic ahead of us, we are to consider two topics, two chapters. Chapter 4 and chapter 5. And we see to it that
Like,
we
the
finish
network is so bad,
everything
it's breaking.
within the period ahead of us. So we just only have 1 hour to get these two topics done. So possibly I might be fast enough. Tonight is the practical aspect, the calculative aspect. So the theory aspect can be done by you. I guess anybody can just easily read it up and get it. Are you with me? So today, majorly, we will focus on Kayode. Can you just close your video? Oh, please close all your videos. I really don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see your face. All right. So, like I was saying, we are basically focusing on the practical aspect today. So, if you are with your piece of notes, the text, just open to chapter 4. That's where we are beginning from. Chapter 4 has to do with construction contract. Are you getting it? And it has so many calculations that we really need to focus on. And that is what we are going to do today. So permit me to share my screen so that we can begin afresh. All right. These are the chapters ahead of us today. We have chapter 4 and chapter 5 to do together. I will just try and summarize everything in chapter so that we can get it once for all. All right. And I know my network is not stable for now, but I will ensure I do something relating to that so that we all can benefit from today's class. All right. Chapter 4 has to do with government construction contract and procurement. So you believe with me that government as a sector called public sector, they also engage in what we know as project. We have two kind of projects. We have recurrent and also we have capital project. So basically, capital project is what actually deals with construction contract, and you are not new to it before now. I want to believe so. When it comes to construction of schools, construction of boreholes, construction of roads, those are the projects that we are actually talking about that belongs or fall under construction contracts. Are you getting it? So in the short and brief introduction that I gave here, is saying construction contract refers to the execution of a building and civil engineering project, mechanical and electrical engineering installation, and other fabrications normally evidenced by agreement between two or more parties by appropriations from the Capital Development Fund. In a nutshell, where this construction contract actually comes from, the project that cater for it is mainly from Capital Development Fund, and Capital Development Fund can equally be called what's it called? Capital project. Are you getting it? That is the fund that actually caters for it. I want you to know that we have so many funds that Akata General of the Federation actually, actually cares for. So is the one in charge of this Capital Development Fund. We have what we call Consolidated Relief Fund too, contingency fund, like that. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Hello, sir. Please, can you help forward the YouTube link to other WhatsApp group? Yes, sir.
All right, the YouTube link I'm sending right away. So just give me a few minutes. Let me get this done. All right, apologies for that. So for as many that could not join us on this platform, they should be able to join through YouTube. All right. So where are we? Trying to explain Capital Development Fund, right? Okay, like I was saying, the Accountant General of the Federation actually caters, or in his possession has so many funds. Are you getting it? Talking about consolidated relief allowance, relief fund rather, capital development fund, contingency fund, and so many funds that are kept many departments, for as many ministry agency that belongs to contract, the tender that we actually elaborate, specified, analyze all the expenses that we cater for church. gender board, that one is being used by ministers, armed forces, police, it up to their profile to know the members that are there. So basically, like I told us earlier, that what we'll be looking at is the practical aspect. So I want to believe that you all can do the read up, the theory aspect. You can read it up yourself and you will easily get it. So let's straightly move to the construction for, accounting for construction contract. So believe me, what is expected of you mainly to decipher and to know as far as this chapter is concerned is the ledger and the journal. And I want to believe you have the knowledge on how to legalize your transactions and at the same time how to journalize your transaction. Yes, the ones to be credited and the ones to be debited is very, very essential. So the knowledge you have back then, in your institution, so to say, so you have to bring it here because it will still be usable. So probably I should just bring you to the icon pack so that we can get started. First and foremost, by looking at the accounting treatment. So talking about the transactions that will be involved in construction contract, knowing fully well that a transaction will affect at least two accounts. So hear me and hear me good. A transaction will affect at least two accounts. That means it can equally be more than two at some point. Rather, it can be more than two, but at least two. Quite right that for it entry vice versa, which means if one account is debited, one account is meant to be credited, and if one account is credited, that means another account will be what? Will be debited. So straightly, let me just open the text and let's see how far we can go in all the illustration that we have there. So if you are with your icon pack, just open it to where can I find it now? I thought I've opened it before now. Okay, permit me to reopen it. I'm coming back. So just open to that page. Here we have page 134. Page 134. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for this construction contract, like I was telling you, for every transaction, there must be two accounts that each transaction will affect at least. So which means it can equally be more than two, three, four, as the case may be. So, but just bear it in mind that at least two accounts will be affected by a singular transaction at least. So, and there is something we call accrual basis and cash basis. Most especially in government sector, we basically based on accrual basis. So, which means the income will be recognized not only when it is being had or earned, rather, it will be recognized when the transaction actually take place and at the same time when the receipt is being made or is being done. Are you getting it now? So bear it in mind that those two aspects is critical. First and foremost, you need to know that the transaction will attach to your account, and at the same time you have to you have to compute your account based on accurate basis. Anyway, depending on the kind of question that comes your way, but I'm telling you now that basically government deals with accurate basis. I believe you know this before now, accurate basis. So it will warrant you to know the account you are going to recognize when revenue actually is being earned, and when it's being paid or when it's being received, the account that will be affected, the ones to be credited and the one to be debited. And knowing fully well that when you are journalizing your transactions, you need to have a place for remark. Not necessarily you might not abide with the presentation I can actually did for you here. You know, they have it in tabular form, serial number, details, and remarks as you are saying it. But if it were to be me, no, I will not abide with this. Of course, underneath my answers, I will just be marking my own remark. That's the way I actually prefer to do my own. You can equally do it like that too, or better still, you stick to the format being given to you by HiCan. Anyone goes. Are you getting it now? So take for example, if a contract is being given, mind you, before I proceed, in a construction contract question, you have to identify who the contractor is, and at the same time, who the contractee is. The contractor is the one that is giving the contract, right? That is receiving the contract, and the contractee is the one that is giving out the contract. So upon every given question, that should be your first point that you are going to identify who is the contractor, and at the same time who is the contractee. So having said that, let's just quickly look at the accounting treatment. To recognize revenue accruable, you have to debit account receivable. It's because of our time, I could have just preferred saying it, without even looking at the text. And I believe for as many of us that still have the idea, that still have the knowledge, you can remember. If they give you any question, salary page, which one are you crediting, which one are you debiting? I believe you know that the law of double entry principle. Okay, so to recognize revenue accruable, that means the contractee is ready to pay the contractor. Are you getting it now? So how are you going to do it? You have to debit account receivable, credit contract revenue. And when it comes to the payment, or when the receipt of the revenue matter has been issued, the money has been eventually paid, what will happen? The cash or bank will be debited, while the account receivable that was debited before, when it was recognized, now that the payment has been made, it needs to be credited. So get that one at the back of your mind. If you want to cram it, fine, cram it. If you want to understand my explanation, honestly, anything I believe will work for you. Okay, so three major transactions you need to equally look at for whenever you are being given any kind of question. First and foremost, the revenue, the cost, and like I told you, we recognize or we use accrual basis. So which means some part of the money will have been paid or earned, as the case may be, while the remaining ones will be paid probably at the completion of the contract, as the case may be, depending on the agreement between the contractor and the contractee. Are you getting it now? So be that may be, revenue will be recognized, cost will be recognized, and the payment in advance too will be recognized. So all those three point needs to be critically taken notice of. So I've been telling you now some points that you need to be careful and be mindful of when you are solving questions relating to construction contracts. First and foremost, sharpen your brain, your skills in ledger and in journal back again. Let it come to life. I know quite right that most people, we are out of school. We really do not have the idea again. We are currently working now, and what we are working on is Microsoft Excel or any accounting software, and really a lot of guy in place. But be that may be, bring it back purposely because of your exam. So we are done with the revenue aspect. Let's go to the cost aspect. When you have to recognize cost, you have to debit contract expenses, credit account payable. Revenue has to do with receivable, while cost has to do with payable. So be noting, be taking notice of this. So upon the payment, what will you do? You have to debit account payable that you once credited before. That was when you are recognizing the cost. But when the payment is eventually made, what are you going to do? You have to debit that same account payable, then credit cash or bank account. So please do not forget, that is the way it's being advance payment, or advance receipt, as the case may be. What you are going to do is to debit cash or bank, and credit account payable. The other way around, you debit account payable, you credit contract receivable. Contract revenue rather. So even if you are not understanding my explanation now, I believe immediately after now, you need to go back and do revision, or probably you will monitor the way and manner that it will be suitable for you to easily understand. So having said that, let's just look at the illustration number 1, and we all analyze it now. Illustration 4.1. The consultancy unit of Federal Ministry of Housing has been engaged by Ogogo Construction to build 100 units of 2-bedroom houses at the cost of 10 million per unit. 10 million per unit. That means cost 10 million. So how many units altogether now? We have 100 units. It's a huge lot of money. So nobody should tell you now that this question has to do with construction contract, has to do with project kind of contract. Are you getting it now? Because the money is cumbersome. The money is huge. Are you getting it? So if you multiply 10 because you are getting 1 billion naira. So that is the total cost of that construction. Okay. The duration for the completion of the contract is 2 years with no variation clause. So even with this, you should be able to know that it's not recurrent expenditure at all. It's a capital expenditure in nature. So as you can see there, the completion will be 2 years, which means it's more than a year. So these are the features of capital-intensive project. Okay, and capital-intensive project is otherwise known as, or can equally be called, construction contract. All right. At the end of year 1, the valuation certificate submitted by the Ministry of Works indicate that over 70% of the contract has been executed. That was done, that was completed in year 1, which means the remaining 30% will be completed in year 2. So if we are to go by the number of duration that was given, that means 50-50 supposed to be completed each year. But here we are, the contractor actually hastening up in constructing the project. So he completed 70% in year 1, and the remaining 30%, nobody needs to be told that the remaining 30% will be completed in the second year. Okay. The amount spent so far by the ministry was estimated at 600 million. At the end of the year, records show that the ministry has received a total sum of 500 million from Ogogo Construction. So here is now the requirement. required, show the necessary journal entries in the books of the consultancy unit of Federal Ministry of Housing. And the question you need to ask yourself first and foremost before you venture into answering, who is the contractor and who is the contractee? So you agree with me if you read the first statement, the consultancy unit of Federal Ministry of Housing has been engaged by Ogogo Construction to build, which means Federal Ministry of Housing is the contractor, while Ogogo Construction is the contractee. And know that what I just said now is correct. So Federal Ministry of Housing is the contractor, while Ogogo Construction is the contractee. Now the question has say, how the book, how the journal entry will look like in the book of the contractor, who is refers to as the consultancy unit of Federal Ministry of Housing. Okay, let's move on. Now, the first thing first that you need to recognize is revenue, right? Like I told you, you recognize revenue, you recognize cost, and then the advance payment, if there is any. Are you getting it now? I believe we have the three embedded inside this question, right? So, the revenue supposed to be 100 units multiplied by 10 million per unit. Now, which if you press your calculator, you are getting 1 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so but the question is actually constraining us to a particular year. If you follow the question very well, the duration is 2 years. So which means we are to just show the journal entry pertaining to the first year, not the entire 2 years. Are you getting it now? So which means the completions percentage that was completed by the contractor is the only revenue that will be recognized as far as this account is concerned. So, and if you forge ahead and read the question very well, they said 70% of the contract has been executed. So that means revenue that will be paid for that first year will be based on the completed project, which is 70%. And 70% of the total amount of money, which will give you 700,000. So that will be the money that you are going to recognize as your revenue for that first year. So now, if you are to compute the account, generalize the account, your account receivable will first and foremost be debited with 700 million naira. And which account will be credited now? The contract revenue with 700 million naira. It's as simple as myself. So, because of our time, let me quickly take it again. The revenue recognition will be based on the number of percentage that is completed already, not on the total or not on the entire project. So the number of the percentage that is completed is 70, and 70% of the entire amount will surely give you 700 million naira. So that will be the amount to be recognized as your revenue. So upon the payment now, it won't be the same because the question actually told us that it wasn't that 70% that was paid. Let me read that part. He said the amount spent so far by the ministry was estimated at 600 million. That was the expenses that was incurred by the contractor, the consultancy unit of Federal Ministry of Housing. But at the end of the year, records that was received by Federal Ministry of Housing was not equal to the total number of percentage that was completed by them. So instead, they receive 500 million. So that will be the amount that you are going to recognize as your revenue upon payment. So it will now receivable. You debit bank or cash, and then you will credit account receivable. I think being it is this 70% that was paid, you could have easily recognized that 700,000 like you did in the revenue aspect as the total amount that was received. But the question make us understand that it was only 500 million that was received, which means the contractee who happens to be Ogogo actually, segmented the payment year by year, which means year 1 is going to pay half, year 2 is paying the remaining half, which means he divided it into 2. You see the strategy, you see the logic, right? That's government for you whenever they want to embark on any kind of project construction. We might not even really say, probably this is the agreement both of them entered into, saying, okay, it doesn't matter the complete in the first year, we are giving you the half of your total money. Year 1, we give you half. Year 2, we made the completion. Are you getting it now? So probably that should be the agreement. We can't really say, but be that maybe our own duty is to ensure that the record actually tallies together with the questions, the transactions that were given to us. So that is what we are basically concerned about. So if you are to recognize the cost now, of course, the cost is 600 million, rather, as you all can see there. So what will happen? So you have to debit the contract expenses, and then you have to credit the account payable, right? Yes. And knowing fully well that this man has gone ahead and do all he has already did all the purchases. He has bought the necessary equipment, and we are showing it in his own book. The federal consultancy housing, blah, blah, blah. We are already showing it in his own book. That means the upon of that cost too, we are going to recognize it. So that means the money will have left his account, which will warrant you to credit his bank, and then you have to debit the account payable. It's as simple as myself. So this thing is simple anyway in this realm, in this level anyway. But probably before you guys write your exam, if we see any other question, in your past question, I can pass question, we can still solve it. But then this is the foundation on how to solve construction contracts. Okay, so I want to believe understand it, right? Or do you have any question? I'm giving room for, you don't understand anything. Oh, that's serious. Okay, you will have the recorded class to yourself. Okay, so Owo Lafe, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Let's see.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir, and thank
Welcome.
you for today's class. To get one clarification regarding to the journal entry. You know that the money, the cost of the contract is 1 billion, and the money that the contractor spent so far on the contract was 600 million, while the money received was 500. So I'm trying to get the logical behind it now. I think what we are going to recognize initially as the cost of the contract, which is that 1 billion, and it's going to be under our account receivable. I'm just saying it so that I just want you to maybe put me right if I'm wrong. So, and
yes, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, but the duration,
yes,
if you read the question, yes. Are you getting it now?
yes,
It was 2 years. So that means are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Go ahead with your question. Let me hear you first.
I'm now saying that since we are going to accrue for that 1 billion, since there is a contract, because there is a contract between the parties now, between the contractor and the contractee, and the what we'll be having in our receivables is supposed to be that 1 billion. And when they now pay the 500 million out of it, so we'll credit it to reduce their receivables, that means their debt with us, which is then in the bank now we are going to debit this 500, and that 600, where the 600 is coming from, is what I don't really get the logic behind it. I just want you to, maybe if there's any way we can explain better. Thank you.
Yes, you're actually right. I lie you not. Even the very first time in myself, I was looking at that question. I got quite all right when I saw it myself that it was meant to be 1 million that needs to be recognized. That's receivable. Are you getting it? But I can't did it. Let me explain like this, in the sense that the duration happens to be 2 years, but they said in 1 year. So the account they prepare for themselves happens to be the recognition of the contract in a year, in that first year that it started. So originally, and trust me, with the way you just explained now, that is the way even me myself I thought it to be back then. But I guess from their own perspective, it should be the recognition of 1 year. Are you getting it? That's how they did it. So if you were to be 2 years duration, according to the question, it's meant to be 1 billion as the total cost originally. Are you with me? So, but then the question actually correlates with 1 year. So if you go through it, trust me, that's what you are going to see there. Are you getting it? So, and I want to believe that probably the way they even did it is because of really for the remaining 30% has never been estimated. Are you getting it now? And they want everything to be estimated on time. I mean, just do what you can estimate, what you can see right now for that particular year, of which that 70% has already been completed. Are you getting it? So who knows? It's remaining 30% to be completed in the following year. Who knows? Maybe the money that even remains to be paid will not even cater for the 30% that remains. You know why? Because of inflation. Nobody knows. Nobody can predict. Are you getting it now? So I abide with them that they just did it based on 1 year estimation that they can actually forecast. I mean, not forecast now, that they actually have the information at hand because of the cost aspect. So that's the way me I say it to be. So are you satisfied with that?
Okay, thank you, sir. But me, I'm thinking that maybe, yes, I am okay with your explanation, even the way it's being treated. But what me, I'm just saying now is that, the Akura concept now, that means it's not taking place. Because, they say that the asset under the Akura concept now, that any transaction now should be recognized when the period the transaction take place, not when
Yes.
the fund actually received, because we are not treating cash, it's not a cash concept now that we are dealing with. So me, I'm thinking that for them now, we need to recognize the amount. I'm just saying, we are having interaction now.
Honestly,
So
you are in alignment, and I love
so
this.
I'm
Honestly, you are in alignment. So which means the Akura basis, that's the point, was not put in place. Yes, you are in alignment, and I give that to you. Thank you. Victoria, what do you have to say?
Okay, sir. I just wanted to say that the remarks actually gave the reason why we are recognizing the 700 million instead of 1 billion that is to be recognized. He said to recognize revenue accrued to the entity to date. In other
Based on
words,
on the 70% that was completed already.
exactly. So that's why we have the remarks there.
Okay. So thank you for that too. Yes, you are in alignment too. Okay.
Sorry,
So
Can you come again with that explanation, sir? I lost the network. Sorry,
so
can
if
you
you
repeat the?
check the remark aspect, if you check the remark aspect, they actually explain to us the reason for recognizing that 700 million naira and the cost 600 and the 500 thereabouts. Are you getting it now? So they explain it being the valuation of the completed percentage. So are you with me? So knowing fully well that they didn't actually consider Accra basis like you said, trust me, they did not. But assuming they did, they could have factored in the uncompleted percentage to make it 100%. But be it as may be, the explanations that you guys just did are highly welcomed. Thank you. Blessing, what do you have to say?
All right, so I just what I say is what Victoria said. Just like our IFRS 15, that is revenue contract with government, we only recognize the percentage that is completed.
Wow.
And the
I'm,
percentage
I'm
completed
liking
is
my
that,
students.
yeah, that the percentage completed is that 70%. So for that year, is that 70% that should be recognized as revenue since we are under the revenue aspect of it. So that was just what I wanted to inform.
Oh God, my students don't ready for this exam. November diet must agree. Okay, who else again now? No one. So
Yeah,
I
no
believe you
agree. I
guys.
know that you. I know understand though.
Oh, don't worry. Don't take us back. The recorded video will be given to you. Just go on YouTube. You will understand it when you actually listen to it again and again. Okay. Thank you. So actually liking this conversation that is happening right now. That actually shows us that we are ready, even if November is tomorrow. Okay. So let's forge ahead and see if you can complete another question that was given to us. Man, you get match, oh. Make una pray, make we win, oh. So where is that question now? The question was given to us in the open-ended question, and it's not really like the same thing anyway, but just little differences that you really need to abide with. Okay. All right. So here is the question. Question 5. That's page 142. So if you are privileged to have your test with you, you can open to that page 142. So can you all see it? So I will just explain within maybe 5-10 minutes. Then probably we get it. I will answer it, and I'm not sure if we are going to finish because of our time. So you guys will just do the completion, but I will explain it. I will explain it. Okay. Question number 5. The question is saying the following information relates to the road construction grant awarded to the Federal Road Construction for the year ended December 31st, 2001. So first thing first, you need to recognize who is the contractor and at the same time, who is the contractee, right? Okay. The grant for 2001 was 32.94 million, and in bracket, the 1.23 million net of appropriations in aid. So that means from 32.94 you have appropriation that is included herein. So you deduct the appropriation amount from there, you have 31.23 remaining as the grant. Okay. So and even in question 2, they said appropriations in aid received during the year amounted to 1.710 million, right? Okay. The total grant was specified as follows: salaries, premises, construction supplies. We have all the amounts there. Sums during the year by the Accountant General from the Consolidated Revenue Fund amounted to 31.5. There is another fund that is being taken care of by our able Accountant General for the Federation. Don't worry, I'm getting there too. All right. Payable orders drawn on the Accountant General were as follows: salaries, premises, construction supplies, sub-accountant. So you will see all the amounts there. So one thing you need to actually look out for is the payable orders that were drawn Are they the same thing as the expenses that were incurred? So you really need to check. We have salary to be 28.35 under the total grant as the expense, as one of the expenses. But on the payable order drawn, we also have 28,350. That means they are the same. According to the order, so it was carried out, right? Okay. So the premise is 2.34, but on the payable side, we have 2,385. So that means there is a difference between the two, right? So the order drawn was lower compared to, or is lower compared to premises that was under total grant. I know what I'm taking my time to explain this because it will bring a lot of confusion for as many people, for as many of you that will be doing it for the very first time. You'll be like, oh, why are we having differences here and there? Okay, because it's only salaries that is the same now. Construction supply is not the same, premises is not the same. Are you getting it now? So the two needs to be adjusted, and that is why I analyze all the transactions that you are seeing here. The expenses, the income, everything needs to be legalized. Are you getting it? So for you to find out the ultimate and the actual figures, okay? Accounts rendered by sub-accountants show the following payment. As a matter of fact, that's what actually brings about the differences on the expenses that were incurred, both the premises and the construction suppliers. So it's because of this sub-accountant. Are you getting it? Premises 247.5, construction suppliers 112.5. So the requirement now is prepare the relevant ledger account and the appropriation account for the ministry for the year ended 31st of December 2001. So the appropriation account, what you just need to do there is to show the differences between the grant and the expenses that was paid. Are you getting it? That's just the appropriation account. It's asking of you to do. So the remaining ones, of course, you are going to create ledgers for every of these transactions. As you are saying it, you need to be taking it one after the other. Probably, if I to be you, what I do whenever I want to legalize any transaction is to open the ledger first and foremost. The first one, I will know the one to be debited and I will know the one to be credited. I open it. So the second one, I will do likewise, like that, until I'm able to complete everything. So the ones that will be having balance carried down and the ones that will be having balance brought down, you already identify it. It's so simple when you are following the principle and the laws of ledger. Don't forget, the trial balance, if you are going to how should I put it, trial balance your transaction, permit me to use that statement. You are going to, there is one hint that I was told, and trust me, I've been using it and it's working anyway, and I equally try it on ledger. Anyway, debit expenses, asset, credit, income, liability, and probably if you have and is it dividend now? Yes, you credit that one too. So that is it. DEACIL. Debit expenses, asset, credit, income, liability. So from the question, you will know the one to be credited, which will serve as liability as the case may be, and you will equally know the ones to be debited. That means all the expenses, all the assets will be debited. Okay, so from this question right now, you agree with me that we have a lot of ledger to open, starting from all the expenses to even accountant general as a ledger. Is it nominal ledger now or real ledger? Anyone, I believe you know it. So sub-accountant also we have its own ledger. So every contracted relief allowance, we also equally have its own ledger. Now, let's be taking it one after the other. The grant for 2001 was 32.94 million. The net is 31.23. So now, in that account, of course, we have grant account. From where it was paid for? consolidated relief allowance, right? Is it? So please, if you are sure of this, I really want us to make it an interactive session. You can unmute yourself. If you are not sure, please remain muted. Just enjoy it, and let's see how far we can interpret it so that everybody can have the knowledge of it, and then you will go back and do the practice by yourself. Trust me, in that way. So just be taking the question one after the other and be interpreting it. Be interpreting it. This is the one to be debited. This is the one to be credited. You open ledger individually, nominal ledger, real ledger, name it. You classify it as the case may be. Classify every salary will have its own, premises will have its own, sub-accountant will have its own, even accountant general too. The name appears here. It will surely have its own ledger too. Are you with me? So the grant for 2001 was 32, net happens to be 31.23. So that means the grant account will be opened. From where was it paid from? Of course, it was from consolidated relief, what's it called? Consolidated relief allowance, relief fund. What's in this allowance won't do me now, God. It is so it will now warrant you to open the two accounts. So if I may ask now, which one are you debiting and which one are you? So you are to debit the consolidated relief allowance with the amount which is 31.23. At the same time, the grant account, which is the major account, that is the construction anyway. That's the construction heading. Should I call it that way? The major construction was tagged to be grant. So even if they say it's borrow construction, that's what we are going to name it. Are you getting it now? Grant for federal to the federal road safety, road construction grant. So that is it. So road construction grant will be opened, and then you have to credit that road construction grant with that amount, whereas you have to debit consolidated relief fund with that same amount. So you have already correlated yourself with a lot of double entry principle for question number 1. Okay. Question number 2, appropriation in aid received during the year amounted to 1.710. Appropriation in aid received. So which means you have to open an account for appropriation, ledger for appropriation. Are you with me? You have to open ledger for appropriation, and at the same time, you have to open account for who receive it. Accountant general is the one in charge of appropriation account. So you have to open account for accountant general of the federation. Open account for it. Now, which one will be debited and which one is credited? Of course, the accountant general that received the money will be debited, while the ones that give out the money, which is the consolidated relief allowance, appropriation in aid, will be what? Will be debited, will be credited rather. And you know how you are going to be describing it, right? If you are to credit, if you are to debit, accountant general description will be appropriation in aid, right? With the amount. And if you are to credit the appropriation in aid, what will be the description? Will be accountant general of the federation, low button. So do you have any contrary opinion or any question regarding that before we move on? Or are you guys understanding it? Owolafe, yes. Let me hear from you. Or you see your last hand that you raised. If you are not talking, please put down your hand.
Hello, sir. Thank you. Not the last one. I just want to get a clarification now. Under the first one, that I just want to, that first Roman figure 1, grant for this 32.94 million. When you are trying to explain all these things, I think I lost the contact. My network is fluctuating here, so I barely heard what you explained regarding to all these things. They say that 31.23 million net of appropriation in aid. So I just want to get the clarification of this sentence. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, that means the 32.94 is gross. or better still, is made up of appropriation in aid. And in the Roman figure 2, you can see vividly there that the amount is 1.7110. And if you do the calculation, you do the mathematics, you will discover that 31.23 will be the net for the grant. That means the road construction grant will now be 31.23, and it will warrant you to debit the grant with 31.23. Are you with me? So, Rebecca, what do you have to say?
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for your attention. Please, I want to find out. You said grant account should be credited with CRF, which is 31.23. But from your statement right now, you reversed it by saying that grant account should be credited with CRF, because if CRF is giving out money, I'm thinking CRF should credit his account while grant should receive it with debit. Am I?
I
Because
can't
that's
hear
what.
you. I barely hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I was following up by jotting out something. So the grant account, that's the first you said something
Yes,
about.
the road construction account. Okay.
No, this particular one, this grant and appropriation in aid.
Yes. It's still the same. The grant or the road construction
Okay,
account.
wait.
Yes.
Okay, now you said that CRF should be debited with 31.23, while grant should receive the debit alert, the credit alert of 31.23. Now, I want to find out, shouldn't it be the reverse? TRF, that's
Is that what I said?
That's what he said. I wrote it down. I'm following
Oh,
you. Now that
sorry about that.
No, now that you explain to this guy, and I discovered that you are supposed to, that was supposed to be done, because I've been following. I'm jotting now down with the ledger format, which is the T format.
Yes.
So that was what I wanted to
CRA account, consolidated relief account, supposed to be debited, while the grant account will be credited because it's the one that received.
Credited. He's giving out money to grant.
Pardon?
Is CRA not giving account to grant? Or was he not supposed to credit?
And that's why it's being debited. Are you getting it? That's why it's being debited. And the road construction will be credited. Understood?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right.
So does that mean
our
that
time
the
is
account
fast
was
spent.
opened by the other person? Why grant is the one?
Yes, exactly. So Ali Grace, what do you have to say? So you guys will go and do the rest yourself. Oh.
All right. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
All right. Thanks for your time and the class. But please, like all these illustration you are giving, I'm lost. So I wanted to plead that subsequently, maybe when you're solving, you can help us with the solution, so that after now we can always take the question and the solution side by side, and it will help. But all these one you are saying now, like I'm lost already.
Yeah, we are in skill level. If you want us to be treating you like foundation level, anyway, if you have time, we can do that. But knowing fully well that it's just 1 hour that we need to, use for every class, as the case may be, probably PM or any other course will be more than 1 hour. But for this PSAF, it's just 1 hour. And of course, if we have time, like I said earlier, if you want us to be treating you like foundation student, we are ready to do that. But the little explanation that I'm doing, honestly, if you open up your mind, you can easily grab it. It's not necessarily meant for you to grab it easily here during the class. That is why we have YouTube. You can go back, download the YouTube, and then get to hear it again and again. And you solve it yourself, and you find out that you easily get it. Are you getting it now? I have essay here that I can open and be doing everything for you. But
In fact,
for how long would that
just
be?
spoke my mind. That's the major issue I'm finding it difficult to comprehend, because I've not seen it's just as if you are just doing public speaking. That's how it looks like. It's just as if you are doing public speaking. So
but sir, it will be better. It will be better we solve than going over the video again. That means to comprehend will even be like solve, and I don't know, but I just
I
felt
think
like
that
what the lady
that's
said
why
made sense.
I think that's why
Okay,
most people are
I
taking it.
understand you guys, and trust me, I'm going to give it to you like you want, and you guys will not be ah una I understand you guys, but to me, with the fact that there is we have only limited period of time. Hello, it's okay. I've had you all, and I understand the perspective you are coming from. We are different, and sorry if I've actually communicated in a way that is not accepted by you guys. I'm sorry about that. We are different anyway. I understand that quite all right. The way I can understand things might not be the way you guys will understand things. But thank God you just spell it out now. But I'm telling you now, as for me, as far as my topics are concerned under PSAF, I will abide with what you guys just say now. And the theory aspect will be read by you guys. I'm not going to do any explanation on it, but the practical ones, I'm promising you now that I will be taking it upon myself and will be solving it even while in class like this. Is that okay by you?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
All right. All right. Having said that, please go back, practice this question. When we come back next week, of course, I will still send the note for next week. I will send it on the group platform. You guys just go ahead and do the reading. So where we embark again on this topic once more. Are you getting it now? But I'm urging you, please go back, practical practice it yourself. Are you getting it? Practice it yourself, so that when we come back, it will just be easy solving it. We can be solving it together while I'm doing the typing and every other thing here, so that we can do some other thing that we will likely do next week. Okay. All right, so you guys should enjoy your evening. Oh,
Go and watch my you
let me
match
go and
now.
watch my match.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I hope
sir.
Thank you,
to
sir.
Thank
I
win
know
Man
it's
U.
because of this man that you are rushing.
I hope
Thank
to
you,
win Man
sir.
U.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I don't even understand what they do today, sir. I don't think.